Hello and welcome back to another episode of World of Warcraft Hardcore. My name is Syken and today we're continuing the journey of our gnome, Syken Burns, the Warlock on the official service of Stitches Hardcore. It has been a while. Frankly, I've been working on other projects, other characters and so on. And I've used the Warlock primarily to summon people, which also explains the plethora of shards that I do have in my inventory. Also, partially used that character as a bank character. I know, it's way too good to be a bank character, but what can you do? And so I ended up in that weird situation where I haven't been playing him a lot, so it's been a while since we touched it. And now we've almost leveled up to level 43 simply by just grinding mobs here and getting shards out of them. So we're going to start with a bit of a banger quest, the Zanziel's quest, which is not too easy, shall I say. And hopefully are going to get something out of that. In the meantime, we also do have another difficult quest. See, we have Colonel Kurtzen, which would be a very difficult quest, so let's see if we can get someone for that, or for the Stranglethorn Fever. In both cases, I would definitely like to play with someone together. Both of the quests tend to not be soloable. We have world buffs, so we should be fine for now. Let's start with Zanziel's Secret, which requires us to kind of kill a lot of the zombies to get Zanziel's mixtures, and a couple of named ones, which is where the quest's really starting to be a bit harder, because that's the part where you have double and triple pulls. So, yeah. We're well prepared, got our Hellstone, and we got the buffs, so we should be fine. Let's jump right into it. The first thing that we would need to do is clear out this entire camp, and the mobs are a bit tricky. Not only are they plentiful, but they also hit hard. And I just got an invite for Stranglethorn Fever, so let's do that. Good, so we got these two fine gentlemen here. They're going to do the Stranglethorn Fever with us. It's a difficult quest because a lot of enemies are going to spawn, but we should absolutely be fine. Let's drink and eat up. Instead, food. Good. We also got a couple of explosives if needed, but that requires engineering, so I'm not even sure why I do have them in the inventory. Should have muled them over. This is still from the banking time. I'm not an engineer by trade, still an alchemist. You do the first fear, I will do the latter ones. Ready. Good. There they come.
I can't pass that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Yeah, with 2 times fear on a non-timed quest, we're doing very well for ourselves.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. I need to target something first. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Good, filling up mana because there is this 3rd wave incoming.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging.
It's an interesting fight mechanic if you're fear juggling it.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Very well. Jens, thanks for the invite. Good. Couldn't have been more straightforward. The fear into fear. The reason why I wanted him to AoE fear is because he has a much smaller cooldown, and mine is I think 30-35 seconds or 40 even. So once he fears, I can pick up. His fear is limited in targets. My fear will have more targets, but will have a higher cooldown. So the idea was really, he fears, I pick up the one target that's not affected with a single fear, and then when they come back, I Howl of Terror into all of them, so that they are feared again. And we're then going to wait for his cooldown so that he can fear again. But yeah, we didn't even need that elaborate sort of gameplay. So someone has cleared this here very nicely.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
I think they are undead. Yeah, they're immune to fear. And like I said, they hit her very hard, so it's good to have a second character here.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Just healing up the Void Walker a little bit.
I can't cast that yet.
Do you need the other camp as well? If so, let's do it together. Wait a sec.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
John the Crow is normally not freed up. Just need to get this guy down really quickly, because I don't have that quest mod, he already had it beforehand.
I can't pass that yet.
So it's an easy way for me to catch up with his quest progress.
That's still recharging. I can't pass that yet.
The guy doesn't have Questy installed, so unfortunately can't really see how far his quest progress is. But okay, we can go to the other location. Look, we are actually quite lucky that we're finding people to quest with. Easy, very easy so far. Not too bad if you haven't been playing a character for a while, specifically on hardcore, just want to get really used to it. Typically before I start the recording, I just familiarize myself mentally again with all of the bindings, where the health potions, where the interrupts, here in this case death coil, whereas the crowd control did that in here as well. And more importantly, in this case, Light of Loon, kind of potions, nifty stopwatch, and so on. So, the typical jizz.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't pass that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't pass that yet.
There's an interesting combination, warrior plus warlock as well.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
I'll just eat up. Interesting combination, because we don't have a lot of healing, but we have tons of damage. And as long as I can keep him healthy
Still recharging. I can't pass that yet.
and keep a couple of strikes off of him, we should very much be fine.
I need to get closer. That spell isn't ready yet.
Okay, not sure if he didn't want to group with me
I can't
or if
pass
he's
that
just
yet.
done, but I still need Zanziel's mixtures. Shouldn't be a problem, because this is just single mobs and I know fair well how to pull those without getting myself into trouble. Might want to go out of the runes here. Yeah, these are undead, so my typical strategy of fearing whatever is coming in my way is not going to work on them. Gotta be a bit more careful here. But then again, we're world buffed, so everything hits harder. I'm way more tanky, so even if we were to go through two of them at the same time, that wouldn't be too much of an issue.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
Good. I think I'll fast forward the rest of this quest for you guys. Alrighty, we're done with the initial quests here. The only thing that is left over are the Bloodsail Buccaneers, and that is a difficult quest to solo. potentially too difficult for level 43. By the way, we didn't, and I'm not sure if I should even attempt that, so I have asked whether or not someone would be up for it, and let's see if we get a couple of responses, else we're just trading stuff in, and that'll be that. There's also, but that is too high level for us, from level 45 onwards we can get the message in a bottle. This guy here can die from that point onwards. So there are a couple of other things that we can do with our time here in String of Thorn once we're back. By looking at our alternatives, I haven't played the character in quite a while, but there is still the Badlands Reagents run. The rest is more or less elite quests, so not sure if that would be the best idea to do them. Likely not. Anyways, Badlands would be one option. Level 43 could be Tanaris already. There is definitely merit in doing that. A couple of other quests here. Merrick the Exiled, encrusted fins. Did we fully quest this? Yeah, we were in Swamp of Sorrows. Yeah, we almost fully quested Desolace. Almost fully quested Desolace. So that's not an option as well. Let me see what we're doing. Potentially Tanaris. Alright, it just so happened that a couple of other people are looking for the Buccaneers quests as well, which is in our interest, because really what we want to do is we want to kill the captains. That should not be a problem. There is Cornelius Riddle somewhere, Cortellus Riddle, sorry. Some extra XP and a nice 14 slot backpack. Not absolutely needed because we already have enough backspace, but I would take it if the opportunity presents itself. Still haven't figured out where I want to go next. There are a couple of opportunities. I'm just not that set on where we want to go. Tanaris still sounds like the best option to me. So we got a group of a likely Retribution Paladin, a Warrior Rogue, and myself. That's a good enough combination, I suppose. I could two-man it, maybe even solo it, if I really would be pushing it. But the respawns on the boats are very fast, so it creates an extra level of risk that is not really needed. Good. Let's ride down there and get cracking. Alright, the crew arrived. I took the liberty in already clearing a little bit of the deck.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
And we just generally got to be careful with pulls, please. Pull them out here.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Alright, now the fun part begins. Pull them out, please, else we get Eds. Well, that's the problem with a pure melee group, isn't it? Check downstairs for Riddle. Okay, well, the firepower of the crew is noticeable, so no real need to keep it too slow. Fuck, didn't LOS that properly. That guy just yoinked the chest, but okay, whatever. He's self-found, I think, so I'll let that one fly. He needs it more. Speaking of which, whilst these guys are clearing, I'll get us some good old herbs. There we go. Be careful. That's why I said be careful with the stupid pulls, man. We successfully pulled the entirety of the ship. Nothing here.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Someone else found the riddle, which is good. Got 2 people with the riddle now.
That's still recharging.
Don't know if it immediately respawns or if it takes a couple of minutes. But it would be cool if it would immediately respawn here. Potentially doesn't though. Someone found the riddle up here, which is great. More props to them. Potentially was in that little cavern. So now 2 of us have the riddle, 2 of us do not. Time for everybody to gain a bit of water breathing.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell
And what's red, it might as well
cast that yet.
buff sea invisibility. Okay, we gotta yoink that next riddle. People are running forward and are getting it. To be fair though, they've also risked their life in the front line. When all of these guys were charging in, it looked quite scary.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I need a target.
You know, I mean, a little bit of loot, not much. Just don't want Brutus to add. He has the tendency, because he has a big model,
That's still recharging.
if you're fighting up here, he has the tendency to add. And that's just unfortunate. That would just be unfortunate. Sec, mana. Alright, we're drinking. Also taking a bit of stat food. Just making sure that we're okay. The others do not seem to appreciate that slow and steady approach, but are yet again pulling the entirety. Alright, get the riddle. Hopefully this time for real. Oh yeah, there it is. Good. I think we're pretty much all done. Everyone done? Well, that was easy. That was easy, and we got ourselves a nice okay, let's help you. The next riddle is on another boat for sure. Let's go back to the first boat. Okay, I'll cut that off camera, and we're potentially then going to hand in. Alright, as with any good group, this group has ambition to do a little bit more. We have now picked up an elite quest, the Captain's Chest, where we need to kill Gorlash, the elite giant that I've showcased earlier. So might as well just be a great time to do that together with the boys, because everybody has just played very, very well when it came to the boats. Now it's just a matter of can that transition into an actual group content. I would say yes, but we're going to see. Okay, we can share the quest if you need. I suggest you focus on healing. The guy actually hits hard. And that's not exaggerating it. The guy really hits pretty hard. I mean, it's a full-fledged elite, level 47 on top of that. Everybody here is a bit under-leveled, so... Ready? Okay, let's do a ready check.
Far away. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
The longer that my pet tanks, the better. I think I really need to Shadow Bolt here. Get a lot more DPS going.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Like I said, he hits hard. It worked out well, but nonetheless, I mean, this guy is no joke. It's not the type of group mob that you engage and then all of a sudden find out that you don't have healing. We would need to be level 45 for that. If you mean the monkey on the island requires bottle message in a bottle queue, that requires level 45. Good. Trading in the quests. I mean, look at that. It's stupid if you're rested like I am. We're looking at just super quick XP gain. Within minutes, I'm already down 40%, and I haven't really sped run anything here. And on top of that, we got a couple of quests done. That certainly helps. So we're down at 39%, almost 40 now. And we have a couple of other quests, really. The Bloodsail Buccaneers, and then I will fly over and do the first step of Cornelio's Riddle, Cortello's Riddle. And then I think, number one, this episode has a good natural conclusion here with healthy links, and number two, we will need to go to a new quest location, likely Teneris, because it seems like a good place to start with. Not sure fully though. So these are the captains.
Be careful.
Finished it, got 5k out of it, perfect, really good. And I think that's pretty much that.
Talk to me.
What's the favor for Casfred here? Okay, well, I could theoretically do that.
Glad I could help.
Just need to mule it over, really. Alright. Swamp of Sorrows, Cortello's Riddle, stage 1, and that also is the end of today's episode. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it, and we're continuing the Warlock adventure. Evil Knievel, Psych and Burns in the next episode. Take care, have a good one, bye bye. Hello and welcome back to another episode of World of Warcraft Hardcore. My name is Syken, and today we're continuing the World of Warcraft Hardcore journey of our Warlock. Small, evil, and cute. Some would even say handsome. We are in Feralis, where our journey continues, and last time I said I'm not sure where to quest next. Feralis is going to be the starter, and we're starting with a banger of a quest, potentially one of the most difficult ones in minimum in Feralis, but maybe even overall, because it is ultra densely populated. We need to go into the Naga cave and fight Lord Shal Zuru and basically get out. And as you can see, there is a huge, massive red dot here, indicating that many people die there. So we're going to take our sweet time, and this is going to be one of those quests where I think I'm just going to showcase the entirety of the quest instead of just a little bit. So, idea is, or let's talk about the problem first. The problem is all of the Nagas in here do have some form of demobilization. They either have Nat or Frost Shock, or in the case of the sorceresses, Blizzard and Frostbolt. So you can safely forget to simply run out of here. That's not going to happen. Secondly, the density of the spawn around here is beyond reason. It is potentially one of the densest populated areas that I've seen in a while. Which means if these guys are running away, we're also having a problem. So as we're approaching the cave and going into the cave, I'll likely use Curse of Recklessness in order to just keep them in combat and prevent them from running away. But it also means that we don't have fear as a means of just simply crowd controlling. To make matters worse, the guys are respawning very fast, and the whole cave is subject to hyper spawn. So there's also that element of it, which means we just have essentially a timer that runs or ticks against us. So we're now entering. We're entering at this point of no return. So from here on onwards, we're committed to go with the quest. We can't just log out or do anything else. And it's either Hearthstone or death, or basically fight in and fight out. But even that would be dangerous. So let's see how well we're faring. Oh yeah, and I forgot yet something else. Of course, the whole thing has a couple of nice patrols to make it even worse. So yeah, you can already see why that whole area here might be considered rather difficult. So our strategy will be simple. We're taking one at a time. I'll be very careful not not to overstay our welcome. And we're just not...
That's still recharging.
We're just not going to let them escape. You see, because of recklessness, they are hitting very well.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Is that line of sight? Potentially. No. See? Of course it is not. That's another problem. Super close corridors, no line of sight.
I need to get closer.
Let's pull this guy. We don't need to kill every single one of them.
That's still recharging.
There's the cross shot that I was talking about. And yeah, when Charnock has a little bit less health, it's very difficult for him to keep aggro. Let's just eat up really quickly. Charnock can already start gaining aggro on the next one. Oh yeah, and I noticed that food in combat, if Charnock is in combat, I am in combat, and whilst you can drink and still fill that up, you cannot eat to full. So that's an issue right there. Switching to Curse of Rack. I need a really quick break here. Alright, back. Broke my own rule of don't go AFK, but I needed a short break.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
So respawn hasn't happened yet. Come back, come back, come back. It doesn't work out. Might chain pull another one.
I can't cast that yet.
And chain pulls another one. Okay, we need to nuke in order to kill these guys fast.
That spell isn't ready yet.
A little bit of safety net here, just keeping our Voidwalker nicely topped off. Curse of Recklessness, and then finishing. Okay, so that was a triple pull. We'll use the time to just regain resources. Voidwalker heals as well. If you wonder why am I having that many shards, well, wonder not. People need summonings to Booty Bay, and they are willing to pay for it.
I need to get closer.
But this should be line of sight. Come on.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Very good.
It's too far away. I can't cast
This
that
time
yet.
we're a bit smarter. We're just trying to pull them a tiny bit back. Don't want another double or triple pull. Respawn has now happened officially behind us, so we're locked into this cave.
I'm out of range.
Good. As respawn is happening, of course, I don't want to stand in the middle of the respawn here at the beginning of the cave, so we can't really take forever to kill these guys. This is a patrol. And although we're chain pulling, you can still see we're having problems just getting all of these guys killed.
That's still recharging.
Yep, that was line of sight, good. Fabulous.
I need to get closer. I can't pass that yet.
I don't think that this pillar here is line of sight. And frankly, I can't afford to run around like a clown. We need to kill these guys quick and
It's too far
basically
away.
chain pull.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Soon the respawn at the beginning of the cave will happen, and then we will need to move in even further. And the respawn at the start of the cave will be 3, because that's how many we
I'm out of
killed there.
range. I can't pass that yet. That's still recharging.
Yeah, we're indeed chain pulling even level mobs here, so for us that quest is very difficult.
I need to get closer. That spell isn't ready yet.
Still no respawn at the beginning of the cave, that's good.
I can't pass that yet.
Good, last guy, and then we need a small break. Patrol respawned, not great. Patrol walks down the right hand side, that's okay. Should have marked it.
That's still recharging.
Okay, we're almost at the dead center of the cave. That's where the magic is going to happen. Marking the patrol. Who seems to just be moving from left to right, so that's okay.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Clearing parts of this cave. We don't even need to clear everything,
That's still recharging. I
but at
can't
least
pass
that much so that we can approach the Lord who's over there on that little island. Man, so many Nagas, unbelievable.
It's too far away. That's still recharging.
Still no respawn down there. which means we're killing them fast. That's good. Okay, given that my Voidwalker doesn't have a lot of mana, I'll be a bit unconventional and start just bandaging him myself, just to save time. Those little seconds can be quite meaningful.
That spell isn't ready yet. I need to get closer. I can't cast that yet.
Still no respawn, and we've cleared the cave. That's good. My kill speed is actually quite good, so this is easier than the last time that I remember it. Okay, now for good measure, full mana, full health, going to pull this one. The Lord is going to add 47, man. Am I kidding me? That's not going to be fun.
It's too far away. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
Good, let's just get the sorceress down. And now it's time for Lord Sharuza. Luckily, we have skilled the spell penetration so that even higher level mobs are being affected easily by our dots. And there we go. Cool. So instead of hardstoning out, I'll do what every sensible gamer would do, which is fighting my way out of here, of course. And that means I'll pull everything back up here, because there will be respawn here in a second.
I'm out of range. That spell isn't ready yet.
Good, once I'm through the respawn, I'll fast forward it. That's fresh respawn. Which means these guys are going to respawn next. I think there was a second one respawning over there. You just need to know where you are from a respawn timing. And the rest is typically not that difficult.
Still recharging. I need to get closer.
So there should be one more respawn over here. I'll just wait for that. And there we go. Now we're in the middle of the respawn, but due to clever positioning and timing, I basically circumvented having that as an add. Next respawns are going to be up there, so that limits the movement that we do have. We're now clearing kind of a new field for us, so to speak. Oh, that was not good. Moving up. It's going to be a double. Maybe not. This hate sorceress hasn't seen us yet. Just respawned as they respawn the first 5 to 10 seconds. They're not immediately aggroing, so you still have theoretically time to move out.
I can't cast that yet.
more respawn will happen up there. I didn't have that one on the radar, so that's on me for not paying enough attention. And there's the respawn on top. This guy is going to move to the front. I believe that this is going to be a single. And now we're through the respawn. Now it's just a matter of just starting to move out, pull one at a time, and be mindful of that patrol that's still around. But the hairy part, we've gone through that, which means it's time for us to fast forward. So see you outside of the cave. Alright, so let's trade in the quest. We have done very well so far. That was better than expected, all things considered.
Farewell, dear Natus. Bashar Felah.
And I think that also ends the quest line here.
What brings you here?
Wow, 35%. Rested XP is really kicking in. So there are a couple of further quests down here in our approximate level range, which I think we're going to do next. Alrighty, we're back on the road again, as they say. I will play without sound, you guys can still hear it. But I'm a bit on child duty and my little one is sleeping, so I'm using that time, since I got everything else done, to do a couple of quests. Yeehaw! Time to get the mark of quality done. That is time well spent, because the Yetis are great enemies. Afterwards we want to do a couple of warlocks, broods and shamans. That's pretty much it. So lots of kill quests that are just in our alley. I'm trying to favor kill quests at the moment, because we do have over a level of rested. The whole warlock playthrough is a bit weird in the sense that whilst for you no time passes, for me there had been quite a few breaks in between, and the warlock had been positioned in Booty Bay kind of as a summoning machine, because around the world buffs you can always summon people for quite a handsome tip actually. So in about 20-30 minutes it is possible, well less than that, in about 15 minutes it's possible, even with a lower level warlock, to get 20-30 sometimes more gold pieces. And it's tax-free money, even in World of Warcraft, so no cuts of an auction house, nothing. Anyways, that's what they have been doing quite a bit, and by just standing there in the tavern, they accumulated quite a bit of rested XP. So now that I'm back at playing the Warlock and actually grinding a bit on it, that rested XP will go a long way. Not that I want to lose it immediately, so we're not going to just senselessly grind enemies, but there are plenty of kill quests that are just going to be so much sweeter if you do have a bit of a rested XP at your hand. And the Yetis are a good example of that. They're not running away, they don't have any special abilities. All they do is at some point charge at you and try their best to knock you down, and they don't even have like flash or tear flash or any of those abilities, just melee brutes, and they respawn relatively quickly, so you can in good caution theoretically put on a Spotify list, and just a perfect quest really when you immediately need to log out or do something else. In this case, watch after the child as soon as it awakes, So yeah, that's a perfect quest for that. On a different note, Yetis, just like ogres, are amongst my favorite enemies for all of those reasons. So if you ever intend to really grind, you don't care about kind of the reward, and you just want kind of an easy XP grind, then that would indeed be my recommendation. They are dropping a couple of cash items, and of course have the chance to drop like just normal magical items, but other than that they don't serve a faction or a reputation brand or something like that, so they are as plain vanilla as an enemy can be, and sometimes I actually like that. We ran into a priest a bit earlier, who was kind enough to give us a pretty sizable stamina buff, 56, so it was a 60 priest,
I can't cast that yet.
and having 560 hit points more on the Void Walker is huge. Also for us, of course, it is quite a bit. We're clocking in at 2,500 hit points, which for level 40 odd is not too bad. I mean, I've seen level 60 characters running around with that kind of hit points, and keep in mind, I haven't even enchanted any of the gear. Good. One more kill, then I'm going to fast forward the rest. I guess you get the gist of it. We're not even
That's still
mana
recharging.
here, man.
That spell isn't ready yet.
And the cool part is the Void Walker can hold just enough aggro for them to be somewhat at 30-ish%. When that happens, even less in this case, when that happens, they are shortly running towards us, but are already dying on the way, so very, very easy grind here. I'll fast forward the rest for you, and then we're going to the ogres. Alright, after a few more kills, we weren't that lucky with the drops actually. We are finally done with the Yetis. 10 hides, there's a follow-up quest with a pristine hide up there, but I would like to combine it with the actual Yeti follow-up. In the meantime, we're ignoring most of the wildlife here, and are going to the ogres next. What we're not ignoring though is that there's supposed to be herbs around. There we go. Sungrass always hides itself very well in plain sight. Fantastic. Good. So ogres next, as I was saying, and I want to grind them down quite a bit. To be fair, the quest down here, the Warlock and Shaman quest, they typically are not always up, so there will be a bit of grinding involved either way, but we're starting with the brutes and a couple of warlocks here. So ogres, same ordeal as the Yetis, just really straightforward, oftentimes melee brutes. The ones that aren't melee, like the shamans and the warlocks, do have surprisingly underwhelming spells, and typically when you're fighting casters, you're always afraid of their spell potential. Say a good example is the Jadanar casters, or the casters on the ships in Stranglethorn. They are just hurting. They have massive damage. This guy here with his Shadow Bolts is hurting approximately just as much as any other melee character. We could theoretically reduce their output by just putting Curse of Tongues on them. I'm still a bit on the fence as of whether or not I like that. It reduces the damage output considerably, but it also makes it a bit slower to kill these guys, which the latter one, of course, I don't like that much. So, and you can see with the stamina buff, not even the Consume Shadows really heals our Void Walker up.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still
So
recharging.
he just has a lot of hit points. 2,700 is quite a bit, actually. Soon, however, our word of fortitude, power of fortitude will be gone, so we will be just on our own. I think we're going to be fine. It's always nice to have that extra cushion. Specifically, stamina buffs in hardcore go a very, very long way.
I can't pass that yet.
Good. So I think I'll be cleaning out this area more or less, and then when we're done, let's move down and get the other shamans. Now a couple of warlocks here, which we should use to our advantage. Because the spawn points down there are pretty contested. I think there are 4 or 5 different ogres that can spawn at every single spawn point. So in order to get shamans, basically 1 out of 5, and you need to free up the spawn points at some point or layer hop. Man, leveling with Warlock is so absolutely breezing compared to other character classes, as in breezing through it. This is easy. I can't understand why this class isn't reaching level 60 more often. Typically the Warlock's considered kind of the higher risk versus reward class compared to the Mage. But I have a hard time seeing it that way, because for starters the Mage can AoE farm, which is arguably the most risky technique of leveling. You really need to be on your toes the entire time. Secondly, and more importantly so, the Warlock actually has more defensive tools. They are not as straightforward, so I can understand that piece, whilst with the Mage you do a Frost Nova and then things magically work out. With the Warlock you need to be a bit more cognizant of the way of your surroundings, where you are, what you do. But you do have a pet, so if you can control 2 units more or less with a good amount of precision, you will have way more influence because you have a better action economy. It's really simple. The Warlock, in terms of safety, doesn't have as much movement tools, but if you subsidize the movement tools with speed potions, then that problem suddenly goes away. And the Warlock definitely has better combat utility. The Mage has better out of combat utility because portaling and portaling others and summoning consumable is far better than being the summoner for others. But in combat, man, like Hellstones, a extra potion that doesn't share cooldown with your normal potions, which is always available. You literally just need to get a shard going. That is pretty damn good. And also kind of I would say overall defense of the Warlock. By the way, I'm not saying Mage is a bad class. I think Mage is way easier to play and way more straightforward. Therefore, people are gravitating towards it. But if you know what you're doing with the Warlock, then I would argue that the actual leveling becomes somewhat easier compared to the Mage one. You don't have as much downtime, and if you're not doing like fancy schmancy succubus plus high destro, I'm chain fearing 2 mobs and try to kill them at the same time, just to further optimize my kills per hour. If you're not doing that sort of game play, then the Warlock actually is really straightforward. So I could work with the Voidwalker, which I personally tend to like because it's just very chill. But you could also very much work with an Imp, higher damage, also good for group play. If I wouldn't be working with a Voidwalker, I would likely go with the Succubus, simply because that's higher damage, another crowd control effect on top of it. and you would essentially be tanking by yourself. I would, however, spec in to not being interrupted by drain life, and then I'm a drain life tank, which isn't too bad either, to be fair. You could handle 2, even 3 enemies with that. 1 fear, 1 seduction, and 1 you tank by yourself. Fell Hunter, very much in my book more of a PvP type of play. It's super good against casters. I fail to see though, like on a regular, if you're not fighting casters that much, why you would go for Fell Hunter. They tend to be a bit, well, they are kind of in the middle ground, right? So they are a bit less tanky than the Void Walker, and they deal less damage compared to the Succubus, but they do have a huge combat utility when you fight against casters. However, the moment that you're not fighting against casters, they are sort of meh against pure physical damage dealers. Anyways, that flexibility, and even that you can think about like multiple options, shows you how much depth the class has. And Warlock in particular, back to the kind of leveling, I always felt like Warlock had a super easy time in leveling, with the exception of maybe one, it wasn't even a close call, one more difficult fight in the south of Stranglethorn, and that one unfortunate run in Library of Scarlet Monastery. I also didn't really feel that there was anything troubling with the Warlock, or anything that wouldn't work out. At any point, the Warlock was very much in control of the situation, which I personally like. I want to get the character to 60, and depending on what the needs of the raiding guilds are, maybe even play that instead of dealing with the Paladin. Gotta see how things are developing. Warlock is certainly one of the classes that is most fun. Also in a raiding context, I just like range FPS a lot. What I don't like is being hit by a mauler. That guy certainly earned his name. Quite a bit. Well, good. We're done with the brutes. We need 2 more warlocks, and we can already use that as a transition to the southern side. I'll fast forward and grind a few more of these. Enough wobbling around warlocks. I'll just finish that quest, and then we see what else we need to do. Good. We're trading in the quests. We're done with both of them.
Hey there.
So here's the
See
mark
you
of
later.
quality.
See you around.
We can
Safe
get
travel.
improved quality, but that is a bit higher. Yeah, 48. It's a bit above our pay grade at the moment. And then we have another quest over here. And given that we are currently 44, I haven't even bought skills, soon 45, might as well. I need to do Tenaris now.
Greetings.
Good, that's the wilderness. Search for knowledge is orange as well. Yeah, we're going Tenaris. This one here is a trade-in, but that entire coast has kind of levels 47, 48 enemies there. And I don't particularly enjoy just dodging orange to red enemies. If something goes wrong, you are in trouble. So we're skipping that, and instead we're going to potentially one of the biggest quest hubs and one of my favorite zones, which is Tenaris. Let's go. Alrighty, so we arrived in Tenaris, and I figured after taking all of the quests, now is a very good time for a cliffhanger. We're going to do some Tenaris action the next time when we're continuing the journey with the Warlock. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.